All right, let me make sure everything is working. We are set to go. Okay, so today is Sunday, which means we are recording a setup and psychology Sunday. Um, or psychology and setup Sunday, one way or the other. And so I just realized the text for this needs to be white so I can actually see. That's my bad. Just let me fix that up. So yeah, we're gonna talk about my psychology, how I did this week in terms of my mental state, and in terms of how I was feeling during the trades. And then after that, we're gonna talk about the setup and what I believe I did wrong, what I believe I could have done better. Um, and you know what? I think today, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and enlarge my face cam so it goes over the display capture and basically just talk face to face instead of looking at a chart, distracting myself, distracting you guys. Um, just so it would be a lot easier for everyone to truly see how I'm feeling and understand. Um, so yeah, let me go ahead and grab my notebook, and then I will be back. Okay, so what I want my notebook here for is to look at my trade journal, right? Because I believe I journaled in paper for 2 or 3 days this week, and I think it'll help me with some insight on what I could have done better. Yeah, so I journaled 27th, 28th, and 26th. So, for starters, um, on the 26th, which was, let me check, the 26th was Tuesday. Tuesday, the first trading day of this week. I woke up fairly late, and I think that's a really bad habit of mine that I need to start fixing. Um, Not that I think that, I know it, because I've been, I've been getting into the, oh, big forehead, sorry. I've been getting into the markets pretty late, and with that late start, a lot of the time I'm kind of, I guess, rushing to find out what has happened and what's been happening. Um, Instead, I should be waking up on time. So like 30, 40 minutes before market, an hour, hour and a half, maybe even. So in Texas, that would mean 8:30 is when market opens. So I should be up around 7, 6:30 in the morning. Um, and I should do some things that really help my wellness. For starters, maybe take a cold shower in the morning. Shock the system, wake me up easier. And then maybe eat a decent breakfast so I have some energy, I have some nutrition, and I have uh, really just a good start to the day, right? you know, and then the basic stuff, shit, brush my teeth, whatever, right? And play with my dog a little bit, and not only that, it would allow me some extra time to go ahead and analyze what's happening in the market without, being rushed to, I guess, look for what trade might occur, right? And I think that will help my mentality a lot because I've just been getting in and rushing, looking, seeing, hey, is there about to be an entry? Can I get an entry here? Should I get an entry there? And it's really bad for my mindset during the trading day because I get in, I do all that, and I just get on my phone and I just sit there and wait. That's another thing I need to fix actually. So yeah, definitely wake up on time to um, do some wellness stuff. Make sure that I can actually spend time to analyze the charts and see what's actually happening, right? And then the phone thing. I need to stop getting on my phone so often. I think I believe that it's a good thing to be on my phone at specific times during trading, right? But other times I shouldn't. Losing my voice. I'm sorry. So usually I get on my phone during a trade so that I can I don't have to look at the chart the whole time, and I don't see every single move and start doubting myself for no reason and start getting like FOMO, right? And recently I haven't been doing that. I've been more of just I look for a trade and then I set some positions, get ready for the trade, put down a stop loss, whatever, and then I get on my phone and I wait for that position to hit, and then I wait for that position to move. And instead of doing that, I should continue to analyze the markets, right? I should look to see where are the likely positions that we reverse, or likely positions that we retrace, likely positions that we expand, right? And then from there, I should look for confluence, I should look for directional bias, I should look for news, I should look for structure. Um, and then I wait, and then I see how price reacts at certain levels. And off of those reactions, I should wait to see a retracement into an area that I'm looking for, right? And I think that will help my mental a lot more because, one, it'll give me um, more analyzation, which would help me be more confident in where my trade direction, or not in where, but in how my trade is going to play out. And it'll also give me better stop losses because I'll be actually taking better positions. I'll be analyzing more, looking for uh, lower entries or higher entries, depending on where I'm entering for. And then I think just all in all, those two things would just kind of just help me relax a little bit more when it comes to taking a trade and watching the trade, right? And then I can hop on my phone during the trade or whatever, right? And I think I do that a lot, not to make it as an excuse or anything, but it's because I find that it has really helped me when it comes to watching a trade. And the reason behind it is because I'm not paying attention to the market. And when you pay attention to the market, you're trying to nitpick and look for um, things that could show that you're wrong, right? And things that could basically just prove your point incorrect, invalid, prove your trade worthless, right? And I think a lot of people do that actually. They go ahead and they watch the market because they think that's the best thing they could do, which I mean, some people can do it, some people definitely can, but people who are prone to trading emotionally, or closing positions out emotionally, or just taking stupid plays, making stupid plays because they're watching the charts. I think those people could really benefit in distracting themselves with something else, like reading a book, watching some type of video, texting a friend, literally just doing anything that isn't pertaining to watching the trade, right? Obviously, you still need to keep track of the trade and understand what's happening, because potentially you could potentially be wrong at some point in time, right? But I think that continuously allowing yourself to look at the market is a great way to look for mistakes that aren't there, right? It's like people who look for trades and force trades will be prone to look for reasons to close out the trade and force a small stop loss or a really high or a really low take profit, and it's just pointless, right? Trade what you know and trade your confidence, right? There's no reason to just throw away a good trade for the reason that you're watching it, right? Um, so Tuesday was a win. I believe so. I actually need to check this. I do believe Tuesday was a win, though. I believe Tuesday and Wednesday were both wins. I think I won more on Tuesday than I did on Wednesday. And then Thursday and Friday, I lost, unfortunately. 26. Yes. Okay, so Tuesday I won, and Wednesday Wednesday I won, then Thursday I lost, and Friday I lost, right? So Tuesday, it says right here, fix your emotions after taking a loss and stop micromanaging winning trades or any trades for that matter. Um, this was exactly what I'm talking about this whole time here. Um, I took a loss. I think the first trade I took on Tuesday was a loss, and that actually kind of hurt my mental a little bit while I was trading. The second trade I took was a very good trade, great entry. We were moving up. We did move down as a retracement, but during that move down, I got pretty scared, right? Because I was micromanaging the trade. I was watching the trade pretty closely, and I was looking to see if I was wrong, and if by any possibility price could react and just take out my stop losses. And so I pulled my stops up to break even, maybe into profit a little bit. And I thought to myself, I'm going to mitigate losses. So I closed a partial in my position so I could make back what I lost, right? And in doing that, uh, I ended up taking out most of my position, like basically all of my position. And then with the stops being back at break even, I got stopped out because price took a retracement down into my entry level and then reacted from that level. And what happened there, I mitigated my losses, but then I stopped myself from being able to generate any more winnings, right? And I think that's a big problem of mine, where I start micromanaging certain trades. Right, I see it more often when I lose a trade prior, but it still happens even without losing a trade, and that's really bad because it heightens my chances of finding some reason to pull up stops or close out the trade. Right, when really in reality, there's no reason at all. Um, Sometimes, obviously, there's a reason, but if you take a trade and you're confident in it, there's no reason for you to micromanage and look at the different possibilities that might happen. No, just trust your trade, trust your idea, trust your direction, trust your entry, and just let it be, right? And then it says here, I should stop micromanaging any trade for that matter. Which yeah, again, I do see it happen a lot. It's more often with uh, losing trades prior to taking that trade, right? And I've seen many times where I do this micromanaging and then I end up losing myself a winning trade, right? And that was Tuesday. I would have had a winning trade if I had not taken partials and pulled up to break even. Um, then for Thursday, Wednesday, I think I did pretty decent. Um, no, actually no. I think I did better on Tuesday than I did Wednesday. Let me check. Any entries in it though? I'm pretty sure we just continue. 468. So I'm up for. Um, you know what? Ah, you know what? So Wednesday, I was supposed to record a trade journal, but I completely forgot to. And the reason why I was supposed to wait to post a trade journal was because Wednesday I had a position that I liked, and took an entry on, but um, I said that I would review the trade later, and I would see where price ended up going, right? And I never reviewed where price went. However, upon looking back at it, I caught the entire move. Um, oh, what a guy I am. What a guy I am. Let me actually listen to this because... Oh, wait, you guys are actually able to hear my desktop audio. I forgot. Let me see what I said. Oh, what a drop. Should I just close the remaining 6 contracts here? What is 6 contracts looking like here? 214 at $3. 624. I could just close at 624 for now. Yeah, I'm gonna just close. Uh, 5. Am I tripping? I don't know how to do math. List. And I kind of just been sitting here. Wow. Okay. Actually, so I was entirely wrong. Oopsies. Sorry. I'm really losing my. Let me drink some water. As you guys heard in that video, I said remaining 6 contracts, which means I took partials before that for 4 contracts, and they were probably around, because that specific scene was 200 ticks, and they were still above that. So maybe let's say like 250 ticks. I closed about 4 contracts total. Um, so I probably did make more than I remembered this week. I completely forgot to review that trade. So that's why I'm like all out of whack, and I completely forgot. But it seems like I might have made more on Wednesday than I really thought. But I did close out the trade early, and you know what? I shouldn't have done that. Um, I think that day was more. I closed it more because I was kind of just lazy to watch the trade continue on, and I didn't want to start the recording later on after, anyways. Um, but I do believe that Wednesday I had a pretty good mental while trading because I caught the bottom of the move, right, and then I drawed stops to the bottom of the wick. Then I got stopped out, wicked out by just a tiny bit. I don't exactly remember how much. I think it was not that much. I think it was like 20 points. Maybe. No, I don't even think it was 20 points. I think it was like 15-ish points. But then we took a winning trade. I caught about 250 ticks for 4 contracts around about, and then another 100. It might have been 300 ticks even, because then I closed out another 180-ish, 160-ish ticks for 6 contracts. Which means I definitely do believe I did better on Wednesday than I thought. Um, but again, I should have just held that trade. I think I was just lazy in that day. That's not good. I need to definitely pursue the um, the trade. Even if I'm lazy, even if I'm tired, even if I'm bored, whatever. I still need to pursue what I'm getting at so I can potentially do better in the future. Right. Thursday was absolutely terrible. Thursday was horrible. I woke up late again, went in, and I was so focused on all the wrong things. I didn't really I didn't really do well at all, really. I think that day I lost about 500. Yeah, I lost about 500, but I did stop my trading early, which I'm proud of. Um, I might have lost a little more, maybe around 800. I think I took 2 trades that day, and then I ended up losing both. Um, and I think it was because one big thing that I do a lot. Sometimes I have a big stop loss, and I look at it and I'm kind of scared. Like, what if price does come down here, and then I end up losing this much? And I think I need to stop worrying about the number on the screen and worry more about the potential risk to reward overall, right? Because I'll look at a $1,000 stop and I'll think that is way too much. And yes, it is a lot. It is a lot. I cannot lie. It is a lot. But if my trade if my trade is indicating to me that this is what I want to see, why would I throw that away and take a smaller stop loss and then get stopped out, right? Um, if I get stopped out, I get stopped out, right? I might as well take a trade that's actually what I want to see, right? Why would I take a trade here at this position, look at a $1,000 stop loss, and think, this is where I want my stop to be, but because it's such a big number, I'm going to draw it up. So now I draw it up to $500, and then I end up losing that trade, but it never ended up going down to the $1,000 limit. It just went down to the $500 limit and then hit all my take profits, right? So I can't be doing that anymore. I need to stop. That's definitely an emotional thing where I look at the trade and I'm like, wow, that is way too big of a stop. I'm scared that if we do take this this low here, then I'm cooked, right? But no, like if your trade direction shows you or indicates to you this is what I want to see, then that's what you want to see. Why would you change that, reiterate it, or micromanage it just to lose? There's no point, right? And then Friday was a terrible, terrible day. And I don't even want to talk about Friday realistically. I don't know what I was doing Friday. I did the same thing I just said, where I micromanaged my stop. I pulled it up for no reason. Had I had a good position where I was at and pulled my stops where I wanted to see, I would have been fine, right? In fact, let me go ahead and look at Friday's trading day. Did I forget? No, I didn't. I thought I forgot to do a journal video for Friday. Yeah, Friday was a stupid, stupid, stupid day, right? Where let me actually open this to Friday and see. I knew what I wanted. I wanted bearish, right? I didn't get the entry, and it was entirely on me. I should have gotten that entry, right? And then we actually we did the second trade. The second trade I took was bad. It was just a bad trade, right? Okay, so actually the first trade I took was terrible. I was trying to compensate for missing the first trade, and I took a really early trade, ended up losing that. It was terrible. Whatever, right? The second trade I took was even worse, or it would have been better to just take that trade, right? But the fact that I had lost the first trade, I shouldn't have taken that second trade. I should have just stopped it, called it a day. But I took an even worse position, and it was so dumb. It was so terrible. There was no reason for me to take it like that, and I ended up paying for the consequence, or I ended up facing the consequences, right? And that first trade, I need to start doing this more often. I said it on Friday, and I'm going to say it again here. I saw a position that I could have taken and take profits where I wanted my second trade to start, right? And I didn't do it because I don't know, I was scared. I didn't want to take that trade because I thought I was going to try to predict price, and I feel like it was showing that it was a pretty decent entry, and I could have taken it with a very low risk, and a decent RR in general. I believe it would have been like 17 plus, right? I'll even check it right now. The stop loss would have been 18 points, and the target would have been 143 points. So it was a 7.84 risk to reward. I thought it was a little bit more, but it wasn't. But it was still an 8 RR, and I think that would have been great. I could have just finished my day off there, or taken that second trade, lost it, and then realized, hey, it's a good time to stop trading, right? There's no reason to try to make back what I lost. Um, so yeah, and I think that's a big issue of mine, is being scared and FOMOing, and then being scared and not getting in a trade at all. And so for the two problems of FOMO and too scared to take a trade, for the too scared to take a trade, I changed my idea. I'm now going to start taking half a position and put another half of the position at a different location, just in case, right? Because I learned that yesterday, and yesterday and Friday taught me that lesson, that I should start doing that. If I'm afraid to take a trade, and if I'm scared to miss a move and FOMO in, instead I should just sit there and wait, hold on my hands, and then wait for a confirmation. I'm not gonna miss a move. If I miss the move, oh well, I can trade another day, right? But I'd rather miss a move than completely lose everything. There's just no point. So yeah, uh, over the last 3 weeks of me, 2 weeks of me doing this series, I have come out profitable. Now, am I proud of it? Absolutely not. I think that I could do 10 times better than what I have been doing, and I know I can actually. In fact, because I'm profitable on the last 2 weeks, maybe about $1,000 to $1,500. Maybe a tiny bit more, maybe a tiny bit less, right? But it doesn't even matter, because I could be profitable, I believe, 10 times what I made, uh, or what I actually made, had I stopped taking stupid trades, making stupid mistakes, and doing all of this BS, right? Um, so yeah, I just think emotionally I did terrible today, or this week, and I think next week I want to go in with a stronger mindset, be more confident in my positions and my trades, but not so confident that I take arrogant, idiotic trades, right? So yeah, now let's go ahead and get into the setup part of this day of this video recording. So last week also ended up going kind of what I wanted to see. It did do it a lot differently, because I wanted to see us move down to the ISP, but we ended up still doing the full bullish week that I said we would do, right? And Wednesday was the doji, right? And now, because we have such a full bullish week, I believe that next week, like looking at this structure that we've had, I believe this next week can be a very, very big wild card. Um, because we are drawing the line on the 20-day IPTA soon. Um, yeah, where these bearish candles actually start mattering a lot more, right? But I think within the last 20 days we've been mostly bullish, so I think most of this week is going to be bullish again. Yeah, so in the last 20 days, 20 trading days, we've seen mostly bullish. There are confluences in this level, so we could potentially see Monday come bearish, right? Because there's no new week opening gap, nothing crazy, right? We might want to fill this one. I believe what I want to see would be Monday come bearish, right? Tuesday come bearish, Wednesday come bearish, or open low, and then go high close, right? So I want to see Tuesday bullish, but I want it to come down to fill this new WOG at the very least, and WOG, um, potentially ISP, right? And then I want to see it go close bullish, and then Thursday, Friday, I want to see Thursday go bullish, and Friday kind of not really consolidate, but range, right? I want to see it maybe like 120, 130 point range, and still hover around this Monday level right here. Um, if that was not the case, then I would expect us to see a kind of average weekly structure. The highest percent weekly structure that we see most often is Monday, Tuesday bullish. Wednesday is the wild card day where it could be bullish or it could be the reversal, and then Thursday, Friday ends up being the bearish 2 days, right? So I think those are the two possibilities that we could have. Um, I don't really think we do the full bullish push here. I think there's potential that we do, but if we do it, I wouldn't know until Thursday, right? Because I'd have to see Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday bullish, and then Thursday, since Wednesday is a wild card day, I'd have to see Thursday go bullish, and then I'd be confident that Friday would end up being a bullish day as well. But I do believe that we've had some bearish action in the last 20 days. So I do think that there's potential that we see some more bearish action coming this week. I don't think we do what last week did, where we only had one day where it's bearish, and it was the doji, like I said. I think this week we have pretty full candles, but Friday I want to see range and close bullish. Um, I think potentially we fill the new WOG here and WOG here, and may no yeah because ISP is within the 50% of this candle already. So I think yeah I want to see Wednesday touch this level and then push higher, a lot higher. But again, this is far. This is 1,000 points from where we are. It would take two 300-point days and then another 300 400 points down on Wednesday and then move all the way back up. So I don't know. This week is probably going to be one of the harder weeks to predict, but I do want to see Monday, Tuesday bearish, Wednesday open, low, high, close, so bullish candle, and then Thursday, Friday bullish as well. But I guess that's going to be it for this one. The 20-day IPTA range is going to close in on these bearish candles soon once it gets to Monday, the 11th of May. Hopefully I'll see some more promising structure that can help me predict more. Um, the last 2 weeks so far, I've been like 80% on point with my predictions. So this week, I'm going to try my best to absolutely follow everything that I said. In fact, I'm going to write it down here on the journal. Next week predictions. Um, P1 and P2. So prediction 1, prediction 2, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. So my first prediction is Monday bear, Tuesday bear, Wednesday bull, Thursday bull, Friday bull. And I'm only writing down what I'm predicting the direction is going to be because I need that the most out of everything. And then prediction 2, it would just be the normal trading day or trading week that we see most often, which is Monday bull, Tuesday bull, Wednesday wild card, which means bull or bear, and then Thursday bear, and Friday bear, right? So yeah, I think that's basically it for this psychology and strategy Sunday, and I think uh, psychology and setup Sunday actually, and I think next week will hopefully yield a better day or better times. Let's actually look at some news to make sure. Monday we have two folders, PMI, ISM, manufacturing, so those don't really matter too much, but I do think that we probably get 200 to 300 points during the New York session that I trade. Tuesday we have also decent news, so this one could also be 200 to 300, potentially 400 points on Tuesday. Wednesday, ADP non-farm, ISM PMI. Thursday, I think the total range might exceed 400, might exceed 450 even, because we have two red folders, one orange folder, and a lot of yellow folder. Thursday, Thursday's a pretty decent day as well. Maybe 2 to 300 points yet again. Potentially a little bit less, maybe in the 150 to 250 range as well, because there's only one orange folder news and then the rest is yellow folder, and most of it is just not even effective on NASDAQ. Friday, I think we're gonna get a lot of movement because it's non-farm, first Friday of the month. So yeah, we Friday we potentially get a ton of movement. I don't know what will happen during New York session because it's 7:30 a.m., um, which is 8:30 during New York. The New York session that I trade on market open, I actually don't. I don't know because we don't have any news. But I do think with this type of news here during 7:30, we might end up getting a decent amount of pointage during the time that I trade. But yeah, so I'm just gonna go ahead and post this like as it is. Hopefully, this next week will provide everyone better trades, better positions, better setups, and make everybody profitable.